So let's start with the WeRize and the
Sure.
journey of your brand since 2018. We understand you started in 2018. So what inspired you, and what has been kept you motivated, and how do you think WeRize has grown as a brand in last 4 5 years? So would be happy to start with that.
No, thanks for doing this today. So me and Himanshu, while we incorporated in 2018, we started our operations in 2019 April.
Yes.
That's the time. So essentially, we are a little bit more than 4 years old now.
Yeah.
So both me and Himanshu were together at Lending Card. I was the CBO of Lending Card. Himanshu was the head of data science at Lending Card, and that's where we worked together for around 2.5, 3 years. And then we decided to leave Lending Card in 2018 and then start this. And 2019 is the time that we finally started. Prior to that, there is some part of our background for both of us that kind of eventually led to this whole idea of how we ended up building WeRize. Initially, when we started, it was called Money on Click, but now we
Mhm.
rebranded to WeRize around 2 years ago. So essentially, the way we, like I did engineering, worked in US couple of years, then came back to India, joined ISB, and post that, I was lucky to be the first hire of Amazon India. So
Okay.
that was 2011 to 14. I was the part of
Okay.
the team that led the launch of Amazon India,
Oh,
and I was part of
nice.
the
Yeah.
Amazon seller business. Amazon has the seller business where they
Yes.
have the marketplace of essentially freelancers that Amazon provides a platform, and then these
They can say.
freelancers
Yeah.
are the ones that are essentially selling on the Amazon platform. So I was part of that
Mhm.
team. Then
Okay.
later I moved to Amazon Middle East as the leader and regional director for their marketplace of
Okay.
all the 4 countries. So I led their seller marketplace for 4 countries in Amazon Middle East. Now, at Lending Cart, when me and Himanshu were there, while we learned uh, about the whole SME lending space and the underserved population there, we also saw a similar opportunity on the consumer side, which is why we ended up starting WeRize. So the core thesis that WeRize is trying to build is that in India, there are only 4 to 5% people that have access to financial products like
Mobile
credit
banking.
cards.
Yes.
Like 3.5 crore people have credit cards. Like that's actually less than 3% of people have. Like there are total 7 crore credit cards. Everybody has like typically two. So only 3.5% penetration of credit cards. And then you have unsecured large ticket personal loan, also similar type of penetration, right? Health and life insurance, also similar type of low single digit penetration. And if you look at your wealth management products, also equity market penetration also is again 4 to 5%. So this entire the big problem is this 4 to 5% is where everything is concentrated, right? So who are these 4 to 5% people? These are the people who are people living in large cities, corporate employees, taxpayer, millennial, Gen Z. That's the sort where all of these products are primarily concentrated on. So what we want to focus is the largest financial services platform for the lower middle class people and middle class people living in the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 cities. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the focus. So we are trying to build the largest fintech platform, a full stack fintech platform for the small city India. So
Mhm.
that's like the one line definition. Now, before I go into details of what we are building, and I just want to cover the market a little bit because it's kind of not very obvious on how the Indian market is. So we typically see there are three Indias. So there is a UK within India, there is a Brazil within India, and then there is a Sub-Saharan Africa within India.
Okay.
There are three Indias. There is
That's
not
a
one
nice
India. There are three.
analogy. Yeah.
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 And the UK within India or India one is like 4 5% millennial Gen Z people like us, people working in our companies like software engineers and all, which is similar to the population of UK. And
Mhm.
they will have near about GDP of 50% GDP of India, right? So think of a European country within India. If not UK, pick any of the maybe a Norway or something, right? So that is the population that India one is. And then India 2, which is like a Brazil, which is the middle and the lower middle class people living in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, contributing maybe 20% population, 30, 35% of GDP. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have India 3, which is sub-Saharan Africa, which is like really poor people, which is still the
Yes.
70% of India's population. Our population being so large, almost a billion people that are still either under poverty or very near to it, but definitely not
Mm-hmm.
leading a good life, which are agri farmers and people working in unorganized factories, etc., in small cities. Primarily, they are the rural population. That's where the rural poor is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are like 6 lakh villages all across India. That's where majority of these people live, right? So India 1, 2, 3. So we are focused on India 2.
Two.
So the way India is, India 1 or UK, the English speakers and millennial Gen Z, which is where your big banks like HDFC and Bajaj and Axis Bank and ICICI Bank, everybody is focused on that segment of customers. And most of the
Mm-hmm.
fintechs also, which we believe they should not. And then you have India 2, which is the segment we focus on, which is the middle class people, lower middle class people living in small cities. And then you have India 3, which is the rural poor, which is the microfinance and Jandan accounts. And
Yeah.
so government definitely focuses on India 3 because that's a
Yes.
large population and obviously these people are quite poor, so they need help. So between the premium segment and the really poor segment, there is this segment which BCG calls missing middle, which is 20% of India's GDP, sorry, population, 35% of GDP. That's what we focus on. It's a large enough population on its own. And
Mm-hmm.
what's happening is India is like a pyramid right now. Like you have 5%, 20%, and then like 75% population in the India 1 to 3. As India becomes like China, it's going to become like a quadrilateral where or a diamond where the middle India 2 would be the largest because a lot of people will be
Yeah.
moving up from India 3 to India 2. They'll get their formal job and everything,
Yes.
right? So we want to be eventually the largest fintech platform over the coming decades, catering specifically for India 2. That's like the now. What do we do? Now, before we talk about what do we do? Who are these customers? So these are people. We focus exclusively on salaried customers. We don't do SME, but formally salaried. These people do get bank salary. So India has close to 13 crore people right now that are formally employed. Means that they have salary coming in the bank. They have provident fund registration or equivalent, right? Depending on if they're a government employee, they may have something else equivalent of PF. School teachers have something for school teachers, pension funds, etc. So these people are formally employed means they get their salary in the bank and some kind of a PF support do these people have. These people do have. So that, but if you look at the formally employees, only 4-5% are the India 1, rest is the India 2. So formally
Okay.
employed, but the middle and lower middle class people living in small cities. That's the segment, like teacher working in a school in a small city. Like since you guys are based out of, let's say, Mumbai, think of Sholapur and think of Nagpur and think of Kolhapur and so down south in where your headquarters are in Chennai. So think of Chetna Patna or think of Vizag and think of your Hubli Dharwad in
Yeah.
Karnataka, right? Or like Salem in Tamil Nadu,
Yes.
right? That's the Guntur. These are the kind of cities we are focused on, but not
Okay.
the really small villages and all. That's not the focus for us, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
these kind of customers working as a teacher in a school, working in a mid-size, like a distributor of Parle G, somebody working as a medical rep, working for some pharma
Mm-hmm.
distribution company and going and selling. So these are like salespeople, etc. Working in mid-size companies, small companies, but formally employed means their salary should come in the bank because otherwise there is no way to underwrite, without any
Mm-hmm.
data, right?
Yeah.
That segment of customers is neither rich, premium, not poor. So it's kind of not focused on by the private sector banks, not focused by the government because they do not come in the priority sector also. So they don't qualify for MFI. So these
Okay.
people, as a household income, will typically have anywhere from like 25 to 50,000 rupees as a household income. So the primary borrower
On a
who
monthly
is formally
basis.
employed
Yes.
will make 15 to 25,000, and then there would be additional household income in the family, either farming income or a small business income. So all put together as a joint family. Typically, in small city people live in joint family. They make
Yes.
anywhere from 25, 30 to 50,000 rupees, and they do not have personal loans. They don't have credit cards. They don't have affordable housing. They don't have health and life insurance. They don't have savings products. So what does WeRize do? So we work with other lending partners or insurance companies or other saving investment companies and co-create, co-brand products across lending, insurance, and savings that are meant for India 2 customers. The second thing that we do is this customer, while they do have smartphones, they need assisted model. They need some in-person help. They need to talk to somebody, understand the product. They would help in documentation. They would need help in post-sale service. So what we have done is essentially kind of an LIC model, right? So we have kind of taken inspiration from LIC. So if you look at LIC is the most successful financial product for India 2 customers. LIC has 30 crore customers. Most of India 2 has LIC.
Yes.
People in our segment buy LIC because of tax saving. They invest in LIC because
they trust LIC.
They trust LIC and it gives decent return.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Is it the best of the returns? Probably not. So it's not insurance product, it's mostly an investment product with a little bit of insurance that comes along with it. So but it's sold mostly as an investment product if you look at it, right? So we have kind of taken the inspiration on the most successful go-to-market strategy for India 2, and which is the LIC model. And what we do is we have created a network of freelancers, LIC agents, micro connectors, mini DSA. There is this, what do they call, CSC agents, common services centers. Like if you want to get your Aadhaar card done, there are people that will help you with your Aadhaar card, right? Appointed by Government of India, right? If you want to apply for a driving license, you can go to a CSC center, and these freelancers can help you. So there are already like 60, 70 freelancers either working for Government of India, banking correspondents, and LIC, and all these are freelancers that are already there. So what we do is we have created this platform where these freelancers get onboarded on our platform, and they help us source customers, and they sell the products created by WeRize along with the partner NBFC banks or insurance companies or product companies. So essentially that's the gist of what we do. So we are a full stack platform. We create our own products meant for these India 2 borrowers or India 2 customers across lending, insurance, savings. We work with our partner. While we do have an NBFC, lending is the largest. We partner with our NBFCs or some banks that we are currently integrating with to offer products, and we have insurance products also, and some pilot going on the saving side also. And then these products are sold by these freelancers. And these freelancers, there is this whole platform. There is a freelancer app, there is this customer app, and there are a couple of other parts of the platform. And that's kind of how, in general, this whole end-to-end thing works. So these freelancers help us source the customers, help with the documentation, after sales. Plus, they also are paid on collections. So there is incentive for the lending business. They are essentially paid on collections. So that kind of has the impact. And there are two other very interesting things about the way we do this business is that we look at family as a unit. So when we underwrite the family because this is a joint family. So we do risk grading of the family. We get multiple data points with the help of these freelancers around their house ownership, the CIBIL score, etc. of the family members, etc. that lead to a more holistic family level underwriting. And then the last thing is, as these freelancers are paid on collections, there is this social collections kind of an angle right to it, because this freelancer is like a neighbor to this borrower. So people generally do not.
Social security becomes a key factor over here.
There's some sort of employee. Yes. Yeah. And last one thing I want to add about our platform is one very cool thing that we have done is, while we have freelancers, around 12,000 live freelancers right now across 2,000 cities, and we have onboarded around 1 million customers from 5,000 cities. We have no branches, no feet on street team at all to manage these freelancers. So if you look at a parallel, which is LIC has like 40 lakh agents. To acquire, train, manage those 40 lakh agents, they have like 1.5 lakh employees of their own, which are like the development officers which acquire, train, manage, and build a keep a relationship with these freelancers. We have nothing. We have zero. So we have.
So how do you think you are managing that bit?
That's the platform, and that's where my previous experience in Amazon kind of was very helpful. So if you look at Amazon, they have millions of sellers selling on Amazon platform globally, but Amazon does not have any people team to manage these freelancers or third-party sellers. So there's a lot of this experience that kind of I gained in my Amazon days, while being part of the first employee of Amazon India, and then later the leader for their business in Middle East. A lot of this learnings actually came from them. And similar to that, we kind of built this in-house platform where now we have these 12,000 freelancers in 2,000 cities with no presence to manage them. Like everything happens to the platform. Their acquisition, training, certification, engagement with them, everything happens to the platform. So we have like 7 platforms in total. There's a freelancer app, there's a consumer app. The freelancer sources the business, and then customer has to download the customer app to do the KYC and other formalities. And then there is a freelancer engagement platform which uses AI ML to manage these freelancers at scale. Basically, whatever your LIC employees do on ground, that's what our
It is being
platform
done by
does.
the app. Yeah.
The engagement platform. Then we have the ML-based underwriting platform where we have around 5,000 data points per user, per household that we get, which we use to underwrite, on which our ML models get trained. Then we have our own collections platform. We have a CRM platform where we have hosted around 9 financial products, 3 in lending, 5 in insurance, and then 1 savings also in pilot right now. And finally, we have the integration platform where we integrate with partners like you across the different financial products. So there are these 6-7 different parts of the platform which are all completely developed in-house. And thankfully now we are scaling well, and we also recently became profitable because of this super nice.
That's a great milestone to achieve in 4 years or so. So
we have been able to scale well, and we have been EBITDA positive at a console basis. Not just the NBFC has been profitable for 2+ years, but at console basis we have been we've been EBITDA positive for 6+ months, and we just hit PAT positive also. So this financial year it will be a solidly profitable, while we have been growing 3x year on year.
I think, Vishal, that's really commendable. As you were talking about India too, and when we are talking about the penetration over there, so what do you think is the opportunity, like in terms of how much WeRize would have actually gotten that customer base, and how far do you think you want to go? So can you just throw some numbers or highlights on that?
Sure, of course. See, one reason which I think I'm just talking about is why is India too so underserved, right? We talked about PL being only like low single digit, credit card also low single digit penetration, insurance also. So there are two problems why India too, which is spread across 4,000 small cities. So there are 4,000 small cities in India. There are 750 districts in the country. There are like 5-6 major cities, right, which obviously contribute a huge chunk to the GDP. But then there are 750 districts which are financial centers of their own right, 750 districts. And then you have 6 lakh villages all across India. Okay. Right, so 600,000 villages also, right? That's how you have all of these 1.4 billion people all spread out. But I think still majority of the population lives in villages, right? While our cities are very crowded. The problem is for traditional private sector banks to open branches, etc., in small cities does not really work for their unit economics. Right? So most of the private sector banks will focus on the 10, most of their business will 90% of it will come from the top tier cities, and some private sector branches that they have to open, so they will open because they have to obviously
complete the rural branches.
Right. So most of our customers do have bank accounts, which is primarily with PSU banks. Okay. Right. So primarily with PSU banks. While PSUs have done a great job in financial inclusion, they've given the bank accounts to these people. The DNA of those PSU banks is primarily corporate lending and secured lending. Right. So if you go to a small city, SBI, you can get a gold loan maybe, right? Or you can go get a LAP, right?
LAP, yes.
Ask for a credit card, and there is no such product in PSUs in small cities. If you look at SBI has 50 crore customers near about, and they have given credit card only to 1 crore customers. Again, the India One customers, right? So it's not in their DNA, right? In the PSU, while they have done a great job. Unsecured is a huge opportunity, right? In India, secured is an opportunity, unsecured is also an opportunity. But specifically in India too, because there is no credit card, there is no PL being given by most of the small, city-based PSUs. Mostly it is either the money lender or secured loans is what really happens. If you need a gold loan, is like a $60 billion annual market. Why? There is no gold loan market in US. There is no gold loan market in US. Why? is gold loan market so big? And this is the formal gold loan market, right? Why is it so big? Because there is no unsecured loan, right, for
Mhm.
these customers. So if you are your
Yes.
mother is in hospital, or your father needs some surgery, and your sister needs to get married, and there is the expenses, or brother needs to go to college, there is no unsecured loan. So what do
No
people do?
unsecured.
They either pawn their house, pawn their gold, or if they don't have these two, then they go to a money lender who's going to charge some crazy interest rate,
Crazy interest
right?
rates. Yes.
So there is this massive multi hundreds of billions of dollar market on the PL as well as credit line, kind of a credit card equivalent or a credit line kind of a product, which is the one thing that we are catering to. The second thing that we have been catering to is insurance. So the current insurance products are too expensive. So if you
Okay.
look at health insurance for a family of four, it will cost 20 to 25,000 rupees. If you go to Policy Bazaar and try to
Okay.
buy health insurance for a family of four, if you add your parents, it's going to cost like 50,000 rupees per annum.
Okay. Yeah.
What we have done is we have worked with certain insurance companies and worked along with them to create micro insurance products across micro health, micro life, micro critical illness, etc. To give where the average premium is like 1,000 rupees per annum, right?
Okay.
So which is very very affordable, right?
Mhm.
So these kind of products have been created along with the insurance partners, and they have also took up well. So, and there are some pilots we are doing on savings. Some pilots we are also just started on affordable housing as well, because that's another
Okay.
major gap. While LAP is there, affordable housing is a much harder product to get. And
Mhm.
so these are the products, and now these freelancers have been selling, and we have been doing well. We grew 3x year on year. Um, just to throw some numbers, we grew our revenues grew from 20 crores to 72 crores last FI, and our losses, became lower from 10 crore to like 8 crores. And
Mhm.
so while revenues grew 3x, losses came down by 20
Mhm.
25%.
Yeah.
And this year we'll continue to grow around 2.5 times, while
Okay.
our loss, this year will be like fully profitable. So this model is now working. And we are thankful to partners like you and some of the other partners that
Always
we have
happy.
been able to
Yeah.
have this have been able to create such a deep engagement and grow together.
Yeah. So since you are mentioning about the partnership, would you want to speak or throw some highlights on your engagement with Vivriti so far in last 3 years, and any key highlights from your end?
Yeah, Vivriti, I think, has been like a major great partner for us, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
very understanding, very deep integration, and super supportive, right? And I think you guys, the kind of platform that Vivriti and obviously your sister company UB has created is very solid, and I think Gaurav and Vinita are solving a huge opportunity and the right thing that they have built. So it's very commendable what you guys have built, and we look forward to doing much more business in coming years with you.
Same is the feeling here, definitely. So one last question: how do you think, Vishal, what sort of an innovation is being looked upon by RBI as well to grow this sector, to grow, to be able to increase and contribute to the financial inclusion? So just some inputs on that would be great.
I think RBI is super fintech, supportive. As we have, I think one of the best blessings that they did was allowing the FLDG norms, right, and giving like a regulatory stability around this area, right? Like this was anyway happening, but there was this view, which side is finally the regulation going to fall on. And while we always had an NBFC, this partnership model was always almost 80% of our business, and it's going to be always around that line, right? So we expect 80-20 kind of a business where 80% comes from the off balance sheet and 20 comes from our on balance sheet, and that's how we expect it to be always as we grow. Uh, Hopefully, we should be 1,300 to 1,400 crores AUM by March this year, and continue to grow to 2.5x year on year for the subsequent years. Now, I think the biggest blessing RBI has done is kind of given a clear validation of this business model, and
Yes.
it's going to be a big boost to fintechs, right? And
Yeah.
all the things that they have done on DLG uh, have been so good and so clear. And that is the other second order effect, is it weeds out the bad players, right?
Yes,
As we have
totally.
seen, see, people like us who are trying to build the right businesses, right? They get benefited when clear regulations come out. Who does not get benefited are the people that are bad actors, right?
Yeah.
So people who are trying to build institutions, who are trying to do the right things, follow the code of conduct, right? Follow the DLG guidelines to the letter. People like us will definitely benefit from what RBI is doing. And at the same time, when the bad actors get cleaned out, as it's happening right now, that gives more business to people like us, obviously, and
Yes.
the increases the trust of society on fintechs. Right? See, India, if India wants to be the superpower it wants to be, like India should be the third largest economy by end of this decade. It cannot happen unless startups play a big role in that, right? And I think
Yes.
we are very lucky that government understands this, right?
Yes.
And government has and RBI understands this, so they have this separate fintech department, the consultative approach that they have, and I'm
Yeah.
part of many of these discussions and industry bodies, and so like DLI or IMI, etc. And they're listening to us, and there is this feedback mechanism, right? So it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. They are playing a good role in, bridging the gap between the
It's the
traditional and
right.
the innovation, actually.
Exactly, and
Yes.
they
Yeah.
they understand that, and they want to support that. And I feel so happy coming back to India in 2010, when like there was India had no startup ecosystem, and kind of there
Yes.
was this dream to always go and build something uniquely for
Yes.
India. And
Totally.
thankfully, this generation of entrepreneurs and companies, we are in the this golden period, right? So next 10 years are our golden period,
Golden
when
period.
there is huge opportunity, and then we have a supportive government that understands this, right?
Yes.
So these two
Yes.
things are a kind of a force multiplier and a great regulator. So I think good times for all of us.
Yes, yes, definitely. I am totally on page with you. So I think, Vishal, it was a nice conversation. Vivriti wishes you all the success in the journey ahead, and
Same to you guys.
looking
We'll
forward
grow
for a
together.
continued and
Yeah,
prolonged partnership on this front. So
yeah.
thank you so much for giving time.